In today's extremely competitive digital world, business owners and corporate must look beyond traditional forms of advertising to remain competitive in their industry. One of the best ways to get noticed is by implementing digital marketing strategies, and I'm sure you will agree to that. It is said that having a strong online presence helps business owners attract new customers and increase customer loyalty. Like many professionals, one may be wondering where to begin. Perhaps through content writing. Ask the Trainer is a podcast brought to you by Compass Mind Asia, where we interview trainers to explore more on their field of expertise. I'm Sherin Callay, and today with me we have Cheanu Chew, a network marketing coach, with us, and we are going to explore more on content writing strategies. Yes, you are right. Leadership and networking skills.
So many questions on training programs? Just ask the trainers.
Hello, hello.
Hi, Keanu. How are you today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me here today, Sherin.
Thanks so much for joining us at Ask the Trainers. Really appreciate you taking your time and spending it to share your valuable knowledge with us.
Pleasure is mine.
Great. So, are you all set to answer some of our audience questions? And at the same time, I have quite a few questions for you too.
All right. Hopefully, you can be kind with me with your questions. So let's go.
You're the expert in content writing, so I'm sure you will have all the answers for me and a lot more to share with all of us, the audience. So before we explore more on this topic, can you explain to us what is content writing and what do content writers usually do? Just a clarity on it.
Okay. Now, content writing is basically the act of writing content. Of course, grammatically, it means that. But of course, in today's world, just like what you mentioned in the opening of today's podcast, it is crucial because it adds visibility to your business, to your profession, to the services that you render. And it builds a following around your brand, around your personal branding, and also around your business. So, content writers in this era, it's not just people in the copywriting department or the marketing department. Basically, it's almost everyone who's in business, including people who are in the corporations as well. They do have this channel where they can engage with their audience, with their stakeholders. So content writing has become a part of the bigger scale in today's economy, right? So, and when we talk about content writers, basically it consists of people who would like to express what they want to represent, what they believe in, and to give a voice to their business or their product or their profession, so that they build a community or a tribe. I would like to love to use that word tribe, to build a tribe around the subject of the passion. All right. So that would sum up what content writing and content writers do.
Giving a voice, huh, and creating a tribe.
Yeah.
That's that's great. Why is content writing important and what can it be used for?
Now, before social media were a thing, all right, most of the businesses have their own website or their blog, and they will go on ads. Could be a published ads, a media ad, um, it could be on a newspaper. Now, things has evolved so much, especially in the last 2 years throughout the pandemic,
Yeah.
where content, especially digital content, is more valuable. All right,
Mm.
and it's less costly to produce. Okay, so we look at different types of content. The most common ones are what we call organic content. That means content that you publish, that you post, without paying for ads. And naturally, people see your post because they follow you, or they are part of your friends list, or they are following your company's page. So those are what I call organic content, organic traffic. Of course, another type would be your ads, right? Your paid ads, your sponsored ads. So why is content writing important? Again, it's because it gives a voice to your business, your product, your profession, whatever you are representing. And what can it be used for? A lot. All right. First of all, it can be used as a means to announce what you are doing or what you're offering. Another thing is engagement, right? This is one of my favorite area when I teach my students in my content creation class. Engagement, because that is where you build relationships with people who follow you, people who are still thinking about whether they want to buy from you or not, or people in general who just love your brand, right? There are a lot of successful social media pages of very good local brands as well, who are actually building a community, building a tribe around the brand. Now, they might or might not be their loyal fans or their customers, but they, because of the interaction they have with their social media presence, they now become part of the tribe, and they're much more willing to try the product in the future when the need arise.
I see. So it doesn't just build a loyal fan club just at the beginning, but it's heading there where people start trusting you. Is that right?
Yes, correct. Absolutely, because trust is one of the most important commodity when it comes to business. Don't you think so?
Yeah, yeah. And there's so many people on the internet right now doing digital marketing, trying to promote their brands out there. So what I feel actually makes you stand out is what you write, the content that you put out there.
That's right.
Yeah. So content writing is so, so important. So
Mm.
what are the skills required to write content? Is there any specific techniques that someone needs to know to write contents? Any specific skills required?
Yes and no. Okay, let me just define the no first, because a lot of times when people start to venture into content writing, the first thing that they will be fearful of will be their grammar, will be the language, will be, I'm not a good writer. Of course, those are very valid reasons, okay? But I've also seen a lot of successful brands with very simple language, all right? Very simple English, if you mainly use English in your social media presence, and they still nail it, all right? Of course, it pays to get a good copywriter to foolproof your to spell check, to proofread, not foolproof, to proofread and spell check before you publish any piece of content that you represent your company to post. But besides that, I think those are very learnable skills. Okay, you can attend a class, or you can just get a copywriter to help you, polish up your English before you post. But let's take a look at one of the local example that I've been following for quite some years. Um, Tony Fernandez. You look
Yes,
at his content, he doesn't have the most perfect English or grammar, but he says what he says.
correct.
And yeah, and his personal social media account is even more active than the the company's social media profile, of the brands that he built. Why? Because people reach out and build connection with people. All right. Yes, of course, companies and brands, they do have this ability to connect with their customers. Another example of that would be My Burger Lab. All right.
Ah,
If you check out My Burger Lab Facebook page, they are building community. They're not just selling burgers, right? They are building community, and they do have a lot of community related and social related kind of content built around their page, and that's how people, relate to that. Now, I might not be a super regular customer of My Burger Lab, but I follow their post because I really feel connected to whatever they're posting, especially when there's an event that concerns the nation or the community. One example would be last year, somewhere in July, where we have this Bandera Putih campaign.
yeah,
So
white
a lot
flag.
of, yeah, a lot of local brands actually jump out and give a voice to this. So that again is the extent of what content writing can do. So it's not just about writing about my promotion, writing about type 5 and claim the 5% off. Not just that. That is just one minor part of content strategy.
So it really goes deep. I'm quite curious about what my Burger Lab did when it came to the white flag time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, what made them stand out? Because the community was already talking about white flag. So did they further enhance that?
Yes, they did that, and not just My Burger Lab. It was other brands as well, like 99 Speed Mart, um, even local bars, and restaurants, because during that time they were still very much closed down, no dine-in allowed, but actually converted a part of their shop to be a food bank, and because of that, people start flocking over to donate breads and rice, and since they are there physically, then they might as well just tap out some food over there,
Yeah,
so you see, this is also another way for you to build a brand awareness. Of course, I'm not talking about using, you know, a disheartened event like the Bandera Putih to promote your business. It's not that. It's just
yeah,
to really give a voice to the cause that you are supporting, and because of that, you're also building a tribe who supports that cause, and because of that support for the same cause, you are actually building a tribe who understands you, your value, and who know your brand, and who might really appreciate what you have to offer, and that in itself is, like I say, building a tribe.
correct. And it all boils down to content writing, because if you don't write clearly and concisely, then your followers will not be able to follow you because they don't feel that connection. Isn't that right?
Yes. So to answer your question, what are the skills required to write content? I've covered, yes and no. No will be the basic ones. You don't really have to have a bombastic English skill to write. But the yes part, I would really need to elaborate a little bit on that. What are some of the skills, okay, needed to write content? The broader ones is common sense. Okay. Hey, really, in this era, this is really a skill that people need to learn. Not everybody's born with it. Come on.
I was just going to ask you, that easy common sense?
Yes, you see, common sense. Now, how do you even use common sense? Like where do we look for to really have common sense? I would say one of the guide here is to be kind and compassionate. I think that is a very good guide. One of the favorite saying that I have, I accidentally coined this term that my students have been using, is that there was one time in the class I was telling my students, I say, if you don't know where to start, if you don't know, like where to find a balance, use compassion. All right, use compassion as the guide, just like how a compass guides you when you're lost, because compassion is really a good guide, and that is why you find the word compass in compassion. All right, and of course Compass Mind Asia has that too. So that has become one of my favorite saying that my students has been passing it around. So yes, back to compassion. Now, last year, I forgot which month, but last year there was a viral post that has gone viral for the wrong reasons, because two property agents were doing an FB live, doing a recruitment campaign to recruit property agents to join their property agency. And this lady was mocking Grab drivers, saying that they are poor and they have low income. They work very long hours but still have very low income compared to her agent who sell one house and can make like 100 times more than a Grab driver. And
Wow.
she was actually mocking, making fun. It's like, and she was really doing the driving gesture and a Grab rider and delivering food. And she actually said very loudly and clearly while laughing this exact phrase. She was saying, how rich can Grab drivers get? Even their customers who ordered from or the Grab food are poor people. So if you want to be
Wow.
rich, you want to find a job that pays you well, and you meet with customers who are not poor. That was exactly what she was saying, and she was laughing throughout the entire thing. And because she wanted to make a comparison that when I sell property, I'm actually meeting with my clients who are millionaires, who are investors, compared to Grab drivers who are sending food to poor people who can't afford the fancy restaurant. That's why they have to order Grab. So this has zero common sense. You see, she's doing a Facebook Live, and it's in a public platform,
Yeah.
right? So it's zero common sense, So to answer your question, what skills required to write content? Now, writing content is just the act of writing it. In fact, right now, producing content like Facebook Live, like this podcast itself is content. We are not writing, technically, but we are producing content.
Correct.
So how can we really, nail it? What kind of content should be out there? And I think one of the ways that I teach my students that I can share here is, number one, look for who you are writing for. All right, look for, like, really identify who you are producing this content for. So
Your
different
target
businesses,
audience.
your target audience, all right, your target audience. So you want to start off with really identifying who they are, what language they speak, what is their pain point, what is it that they desire, what would be their frustration, what is their common problem that you can solve. So you want to start with that, all right? Not every piece of content needs to go viral and need to have a large audience. Even if your content has a small audience, but they are very targeted, and those are the audience that you want this message to relate to, and I think that piece of content has done its job, right? So one of the skills needed is to really identify who they are. Why are you writing this piece of content for them? What is in it for them? What's in it for this tribe that you are writing for? All right. And then once you have gotten your target audience, you want to zoom into what can you give, what value can you give, what solution can you provide, or what piece of education can you put out there, right? So there must be a value exchange, because when your readers start, when people who consume your content start seeing you as valuable content creator, that is where they want to keep following you, keep consuming your content, or keep sharing your content on their newsfeed, right? So valuable content, creates a chain reaction, because people want to share valuable stuff with their friends.
Okay.
Okay, so and of course, content with zero common sense, like the property agent example just now, it's also very viralable, but of course all for the wrong reasons. Last I heard, both of them has their license
Revoked.
temporarily revoked.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's painful. So, when you say, what value can you provide? What kind of solution can you provide? Just say that there's a car salesman, a
Mm-hmm.
car company, and their salespeople are selling. What kind
Right.
of value would value mean the features of the car, or it's totally different from, because every car company will talk about their features, right?
Yeah.
Would value be equivalent to features, or it's totally different?
Right. Now, let's take a look at what would be the most common content that other car dealers will be posting. What do you think?
More on the features and benefits of the car.
Correct. So, but then again, if you look into your target audience, the car owners or your potential customers, what would be the frustration right now with whatever car they're having? What would be the main concern? So, as a car owner yourself, what would be you know, the main frame of your consideration when you're looking into getting a new car? What would be your consideration, Sherin?
Two things, probably petrol consumption and comfort.
Mm. Mm-hmm. How about safety?
And safety, yes. Speed.
Yeah. So petrol consumption, safety, comfort. All right. I would like to throw in one more. Low maintenance. All
Yeah.
right. When I say low maintenance, doesn't mean that you don't have to maintain it. All right. But it's very accessible. Like, there is an authorized service center in almost every city and town. Right.
Mm.
So those are what I call convenience as well. And
Okay.
so all this, each of this can be one piece of content in itself.
Mm,
So it
and
can be
that is
one piece of
equivalent to
content that
value.
talks only about safety,
Okay.
right? You can draw in data about the national data of car safety related accidents and track record from uh, some of the past models of your cars and how you rank, how I mean your company, your brand ranks in terms of safety. If you have those very good testimonials, those would be a good addition to this piece of content that only talks about safety of the car. Another piece of content can talks about comfort,
Mm,
right? And it can also target few different lifestyle. It could be comfort for people who are using the car for their own, and it can also be comfort for people who are using the car as a family, all right?
mhm.
Also comfort or safety for people who are using the car who travel a lot, long distance, like going outstation. So all these can be in that piece of content that talks about comfort. Now you have a content that talks about safety, another content that talks about comfort, probably another content that talks about fuel consumption. All right. So these are some of the ways you can use different sector of your benefits and enlarge it in one piece of content. And you can
Mm,
also throw in some of the recent happenings. All right, let's say there is a viral news going on, where petrol price is going up for the past five weeks, let's say. All right,
mm.
and people are actually angry about that. So probably that will be a good timing for you to post that piece of content about fuel consumption, right?
Mm.
So it also pays to really plan your content properly so that you know when you're going to publish which piece of content. And let's say there is a viral news about high petrol costs in Malaysia. You want to reshuffle your content so that you bring out the content that talks about fuel consumption first and probably
Mm.
push the safety content to the next week or so. So that's part of content strategy that I teach my students in class, that you always map out your content when to post what so that it forms a syllabus of very followable, easy to consume content for the audience. And of course, if they want to know more, they can always go to your page and look at all the past content that you have posted, right?
Mm.
So this is what I call content strategy.
Wow, that's great. Then do you when you advise them to create a content like a calendar, do you tell them to prepare a calendar so they have little
Yeah,
modules
I
in there
actually I
already?
give them a calendar template as well in my
Ah,
class.
okay. All right, that's very useful. I mean, like you
Yes,
take it and use it
saves them
straight
lots
away
of
and it's
time.
going to
Yeah.
apply.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm.
Yes.
Is content writing important for someone who wants to start a career in it, or is it for anyone and everyone? Who are the main target audience who will really benefit from content writing?
In the broader scheme of thing, I would say it should be for anyone and everyone. Of course, when you have a purpose, when you know why you're writing that piece of content for. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and also included in this big mix of anyone and everyone, there are also people who just use social media for personal use. They just upload their food photo, their cat videos, the kids stuff. So those are what I call personal usage of social media. They are not selling anything, they are not advertising anything, they are not using the content writing to build a tribe community. So it's mainly for personal use, more like their online diary of sharing what's going on in their life, and the friends get to see glimpse of what their life is about. And that is the personal aspect of social media. All right. So of course, learning content writing or not is not very much applicable to this group of people.
Uh-huh.
But I also see people who really enjoy learning content writing, even if they belong to this group of people. But they just enjoy learning the skill of writing so that they can, angle their content differently. They have variety, and then they enjoy seeing people enjoying their post. So that is for personal use. Um, those who can really benefit the most of it would be business owners, entrepreneurs, corporations as well. Now, even in a corporation, within the corporation, I'm talking about intra corporate corporation. there is also a need for content writing as well, especially
Mm.
say the HR. They want to produce information that they want their staff and employees to consume the information. Those are content writing. Not necessarily has to be on social media. It could be in your company's intranet, um, um, or your bulletin board, right? Those are content writing skills as well, right?
Mm.
Even for, let's say, agencies, or group of salespeople, they might not be using the social media, but I'm sure they do have their own community, like within the Facebook group or in their WhatsApp, tribe, the community. Those are content writing as well, because otherwise, if you only post the same thing at the same time every week, it becomes, number one, very boring, very routine,
Yeah.
very mundane, and becomes like an announcement. And people tend to just ignore whatever you're posting. So I would
Mm.
say content writing skill uh, is applicable as and when you have a message that you want to share. All right, and depending on how frequently and how big impact is that.
Mm.
Let's say you are really doing it for business and you are marketing something and you want your customers to know more about your business and all, then it is crucial to learn content writing skills.
Okay. Content writing. Okay, I just wrote these few things. Content writing for influence, to influence others. Content writing to inform.
Yeah.
Content writing for selling. Would that chase customers away or do customers like it?
Content writing for selling. All right, there's the old norm way and there's a new norm way. All right, the old norm way is, I'm gonna put a piece of content. I'm gonna put probably a photo of of a product, and I'm gonna write down the benefits of it. So this anti-aging, so this drink is patented, and I don't know how many years of research, and doctors are consuming it. You should try to, and click below and for the link to go to the shop where you can purchase it. So that is what I call a direct selling post. That means this post is directly selling you something. All
I
right.
run away already.
Correct. Now, this is what a lot of people are doing. That's why I say
Uh-huh.
this is the old norm way of doing things. All right. The new norm way is that if you want to sell something, you don't want to just be doing whatever I just did just now, because I'm not saying that it doesn't work. It
Mm-hmm.
only works for very small niche. Those are the people who are already looking for this product and they wonder where they can buy it, and they so happen to see your content and they buy it from you.
Mm.
But you'll be chasing away about like 99% of your audience. All right. You post it like once in a blue moon, still okay. People might still click like or support you and say, oh, wow, well done. But if you post it every day, you're going to lose friends. You're going to get a lot of people disconnecting with you, unfriend you, or even block you, or they just hide your post, and you will never appear on the newsfeed anymore. All right.
Yeah.
So if you want to do a post that sells, again, go back to your target audience. What is their pain? All right. You want to write a story around their pain, what they are going through. If this sounds like you, I can help you. So you want to talk about the pain. You want to talk about how you solve your customer's pain, which is very similar to this pain that they are having. And because of that, they
Mm.
say, I think I want to know more about how you help your customer because I'm going through the same thing. So
Mm.
it's not a push sales kind of post, more of a pulling,
Cool.
like, this is what I'm sharing with you. This is the result I'm helping my client getting. Does this sound like you? Because if this sounds like you might want to know about this. So this is where they say PM. This is where they say, I want to find out more. This is where you say, click at the link below for a free guide. All right. So there are a lot
Mm.
of ways that you can get them to come to you. But the basis of it, this is what I call story selling. All right. So you're not
Uh-huh.
selling the product, you're selling the story. All
Mm-hmm.
right. I actually have a workshop called The Art of Story Selling. All right. And
Mm.
I teach people how to write story, how to develop the storyline, how to really emotionalize their post such that people can relate to stories.
Mm. Yeah, people do relate to stories because you put like how you were trying to sell the bottle of drink just now, it will change. Like you said, 99% of people will run. But when you tell a story, people tend to relate to it. People like stories. It's something that all of us went through since we were young. Our parents told us stories. They read us storybooks before our bedtime.
Mm-hmm,
So we,
mm-hmm.
we, we link very well to stories. So,
Yeah.
what are some of the most important strategies in content writing?
Okay, three letters. All right, VEC. All right. If you're listening to this, you might want to like really jot this down. If you're driving, please don't do that. So VEC. This is what I teach my students. So V stands for visibility. All right. Now, what I did just now with the product post, I'm actually going against the visibility. In fact, I'm actually getting more invisible if I post more of this kind of stuff. The more I post this kind of stuff, the more people want to like hype my post, and I become even more invisible to them. Correct? So the opposite of V is invisible. So how to be more visible? So one of the favorite ways that my students like to use is to really come up with very helpful content, like hacks, like 5 tips that you can solve this say hair loss problem. All right, and some DIY techniques that you can use to immediately remove your shoulder pain. So this kind of experimental tips and strategies or hacks are very good content because number one is easily understandable, is very easily consumable, all right, and if it works, it is highly shareable, all right. So when they share your content, it starts to go viral because now your content reach to other audience that who are not connected with you, but because your audience saw your content and they share it out, and then now you have like second level, third level, fourth level audience seeing the content. All right. So I have
Mhm.
first-hand experience in that when my Facebook post went viral back in 2020. That was at the beginning of our national lockdown, third day of our MCO1.
Wow.
My post about remote grocery shopper went super viral. I have got like friends requests coming in from Philippines, South Korea, Indonesia, Singapore. That post went all the way to the national news and media, broadcast, everything, blogger, YouTuber, start interviewing me about why is this post viral and all. So within like 2 days, it had got like 30,000 shares.
Wow.
Shares, right? So
Yeah,
it's
that's
crazy.
power.
It was yeah, it was really fun. So so again, not every piece of content that you produce has to be viralable, all right? But when you produce very relevant content that touch their
Mhm.
heart, content that helps them, content that is useful, content that educates them, that open them up to a brand new information that they couldn't find on Google. So these are the things that when they find valuable, they will share with another person who would think that is valuable. So that's where you start to get multiple views on your content, right? So that's visibility, right?
Mm.
Now, once you have gotten visibility, and like one of the posts that I mentioned just now, all right, are you having this same problem? If you are, comment below and or click on the link below or subscribe to our newsletter, so you can get all these free guides sent to you. So whatever it is, you have to have a CTA or a call to action. Okay, a call to action is to invite them to take a small action with you, like subscribe to your email list, like DM you, for a quote, all right, or come and join our workshop. So from that, you're actually building a database. You're actually building, again, building a tribe, all right, and you have the contacts. So that is where this group of people who responds to you and they join your email list, they join your webinar or whatever not, they are one step closer than just reading your content. Now they enter the second stage of VEC. So now the E starts coming in. E stands for engagement. So you gotta engage with them. You gotta you gotta really relate to them. You gotta continue your conversation with them. How can you help them? What are their problems? What would they need to know more of? Would they want to attend this event that can shine light on whatever this is bothering them? So the engagement is there. all right? Because these are the group of people who are closer to you than just casually reading your content. So for the first group of people, you got to use the V strategy, which is visibility. And for this group where they're actually taking action with you, there's some trust and some rapport there. You want to continue engaging with them. All right. So the E is that they're engaging, the email list, the engagement and things that happens and all these things. All right. So that builds rapport and relationship between you and them. Okay. Of course, when the rapport is built, when trust is built, when engagement is there, right? Chances are they might move to the last stage, which is C. So C is where conversion happens. All right. So of course, you don't just chuck your product again. You don't just chuck a product and say, "Hey, I think you need this." All right. After all that we have spoken about, you need this. All right. Offer only valid for 5 more days. No, don't do that. Don't blow it up. So what you want to do is that you want to go through the entire process of helping them solve the problem, because I believe that closing is not a technique. All right. Closing is a process of really understanding what do they need, what problem are they facing, what are they struggling with, and explaining to them what solutions you have for them. Going through all these conversations about the budget, about timing, about consideration, about cost, about the expectation, and all these things are part and parcels of closing, the whole entire closing process. All right. So many times salespeople think that, oh, I have to do this, I have to build rapport, I have to explain this, I have to do presentation, I have to answer the questions, and then I have to take a big deep breath and start doing closing. No, that's the way you chase people away, because they start to sense that you are okay. I got my sleeve up, I'm gonna hunt you down. So if all the process in the middle has been done right, and trust is built along the way, closing is just one question away, because the entire process is what I call the closing. One step closer to closing. So closing is really, when do you want to start with this program, or how would you want to get this product, to solve your problem. Would you like to pay by cash or by installment? So that is that really the step over to
Closing.
getting the done deal. All right. But it's not a closing technique, a sales technique, or whatever technique that you talk about. But if the whole process of really understanding why do they need this product, and educating them why they need this product as well.
Yeah, yeah. That's really the VEC is a very useful
Yes,
technique strategy. Thanks for sharing that. That is really, really good. Would you agree that the pandemic has opened up more opportunities for content writers? And what do
definitely.
you predict the future of content writing is?
Well, I think content writing is here to stay for a
Really?
long, long time.
Mm.
And
Will it
you can
evolve
either
further?
wing it. Yeah, sorry.
Will it evolve further from what it is now?
Yes, yeah, because content writing has already evolved from writing content to producing video, like what we are doing now, and audio and podcast. But the fundamental is still the same, which is really, why are you producing this piece of content? Who is this piece of content for? And what's the entire objective of your content strategy? The fundamental is still there, but the way the content is produced and shared is different, and it could be different, probably with the metaverse thing coming up about. But the fundamentals are still there. It's really still you reaching out, giving a voice to a message, to other people who would then relate to you. So my prediction, content writing is definitely here to stay. And with the post pandemic, I think people are really more aware of good quality content and bad quality content, because we are being bombarded by content almost every second of the day.
Yeah.
So we can either learn the skill to up our game in content writing, or we can do a try and error, and let me post this and see how it goes. But bear in mind, while you are trying to figure out content writing through try and error, your competitors would probably attend my class and nail it.
And flown off by then already. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So, Keanu, if you could give a piece of advice or tip to those who want to start content writing, what would that be? Your last piece of advice before we close off for the day.
go and learn it. All right. Be resourceful. Okay. There are a lot of techniques that you can research. There are a lot of advice, or free information like what we're doing here that you can learn. Learn it. All right. Of course, if you really want to learn it in a very structured, syllabus based and a very systematic way to really up your game, you can come from my class. But besides that, just being resourceful enough, start observing how other people are producing content, why they're producing this kind of content, start really analyzing how other content creators are going about with their content. That in itself, you can learn a lot more. Right. So once you learn it, once you consume, once you like really analyze it, give yourself a timeline, say 1 month of consuming and analyzing and observing and breaking down how other content creators are doing it. Then you got to start doing it. Even if you are not good at it, you got to start doing it. You got to start practicing. You got to start fine tuning it. Because you can sit there and learn all you can, but if you don't take action, there's still no result. All right. So learn it.
Yes, that's the best advice I think you can give anyone is just get it done, just do it.
Yeah,
Don't
just do it.
analyze until we get paralyzed. Just get
Yes.
started, because that's where we're going to improve further. Because as we write, I think we can also ask our friends, what do you think of it? Do you think I can improve on this? And
That's
get
true.
some feedback from others too.
That's
Well, Cheanu, we've come to the end of the show, and we really like to thank you so much for taking your time to be on today.
You're most
And
welcome. Pleasure is mine.
it's been so much of useful tips that you've shared for content writing. Even I myself learned the VEC today. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for that, Cheanu.
You're most welcome. I
Okay,
really enjoyed the time here. Thanks for having me, Sherin.
most welcome. Till I see you soon, Cheanu. See ya.
All right. See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Content writing is about giving a voice to the message you are passionate about and that you built a tribe around it. The key first step to content writing is to develop visibility and trust. Without that, it is a little bit harder for customers to relate to us. Start identifying who your target audiences are, as different audience consume contents differently. So different contents, different type of contents relate to the different kind of audience. So start identifying your audience. So wondering about which training you need for you and your team? Just ask the trainers. Brought to you by Compass Mind Asia. Watch more of our episodes on Compass Mind Asia's Spotify and YouTube channel. Sherin Callay. Till our next time, signing off. Bye.
So many questions on training programs? Just ask the trainers.